Right, welcome back, everybody. It's of course Sport Federation TV, where we talk about the various sports codes in the Western Cape and the members of the Western Cape Provincial Sport Confederation, and of course those federations in the districts in the Western Cape. One of South Africa, well, it goes back many, many, many years, and of course one of South Africa's most, well, we'd like to say most popular sports, but it's a little bit tricky. But they certainly been playing around with potentially being in the Olympics this year. Is karate. Now we've had karate on the show a number of times, but it's rarely that we get the president of Western Cape Karate on the show with us. And joining us now is John Daniels, the president of Western Cape Karate. John, how are things there with you?
I'm fine, thanks. Been we're all under lockdown, so
Yeah.
you try and make do with the little space that you have to move. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, at least I'm not still crazy yet.
Not yet, not yet. Well, I think it's that is a good start. You know, that's a good start for anybody. I think in the world of sport, because obviously we all want to be active. We want to keep healthy, keep fit, and all that. But it must be particularly difficult for karate people. I mean, it's a contact sport. There are some sports that are less contact. It must be a challenge for karate students to be training at the moment and can't get into dojos.
Yeah, it is. Although I must say I've seen a few examples of people that are training, doing video calls on Instagram. Uh, I just saw since Geoffrey Jackson on Facebook giving a class.
Yeah, oh, right.
So uh, um, and even some of our elder statesmen like Sian Jannie Legrand, I know that he's doing video trainings as well. So the guys have been keeping busy. One of our Western Cape coaches is a fireman, so he's obviously in the essential services. So he started with a lockdown doing I think 21 push-ups because he thought the lockdown was only going to be 21 days. So I was actually check with him if he's now going to extend it to,
I
to
suppose there is
50.
a I suppose there is a something to be said, though. You know, maybe if one thinks about, there's something to be said about karate students. If one goes back over the decades that karate's been in existence, many students have gone into isolation to train in the mountains and in meditation and things like that. So maybe karate is a sport that can cope with this quite well if you have that mental discipline.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's one of the things that I've always been saying that um, for me, it doesn't. I don't necessarily have to be in a gathering to train.
Yes.
I can train on my own, and obviously there are other ways also
Yeah.
of stimulating your mind. You can obviously read as well.
This year would have been an Olympic year for karate. It certainly looks like with karate's entry into the Olympics, and we know that the future after 2020 would have been still to be seen in terms of the Olympic connection. But certainly with karate, looking forward to the 2020 Olympics, there's been a big spotlight on karate globally.
Look, we've had a few competitors. Um, I know the qualification criteria for karate has actually been quite difficult. Um, they, I think they were talking about probably top 20 ranked or something like that in the
Yeah,
different age divisions.
yeah. Well, it
Um,
certainly is. I mean, it certainly is great from a global awareness point of view that with karate getting into the Olympics, the world was talking about the Olympics. But you've got the Junior Olympics also. We don't know when that is going to be, but that's also adding more awareness for karate.
what I'm really hoping for is that um, there will be more opportunities for especially with the Youth Olympics for young people to participate.
You've got some great coaches in the Western Cape. At your awards, you mentioned earlier on Geoffrey Jackson, and when I was at the awards, I listened to himself telling us, in fact, about his string of titles. But it was great listening to him talk about coming from humble beginnings and being able, through the world of karate, to have experienced a whole lot of different opportunities that maybe he would not have had before, and that his participation in karate allowed him to travel the world and meet interesting people.
It's interesting that he retired undefeated. It was something like over 10 years.
Yeah.
And it was quite interesting. I was at one of the at one of the tournaments where we almost lost in South Africa, and Sensei Carol Daniels, my wife, was coaching him, and he looked over his shoulder at her, and she encouraged him, and 0, and he still won the fight. It just shows the resilience that he had, and especially coming from where he came from, and he's still in Mitchell's Plain, and he's got a dojo that is continually growing. And I'd like to ask people in the area to support him, because he's doing good work.
John, of course, on our final note there, I mean, looking in Geoffrey's case here, it goes without saying that people should start karate, train karate, join karate, find a dojo near you, and become a karate student.
Yeah, we would always encourage that, and for those guys who think they won't make it in sports, or in other sports for that matter, I have really seen young kids join the dojo, develop, and then the guys from rugby grabbed him. It's
Yeah.
it's that sort of, and we quite happy to do that, to develop our young people into sports
Yeah.
persons that the country can be proud of.
Yeah.
So please,
that's great.
let's get the kids off the street and into the dojos, and yeah, let's see if we can help our country to grow by growing karate.
John, we're going to leave it at that. I'm going to say thanks to you for joining us. I know that you're a busy man, and hopefully we'll catch up with you again soon.
Thank you very much, JP. I appreciate the opportunity.
Here we go, folks. John Daniels, of course, president of Western Cape Karate, and there you heard it from him as well. Anybody can join karate. Find a dojo near you, or, well, that's what they call it, a dojo, a club. Find a club, a dojo near you, and sign up. Of course, you've got to wait for the lockdown to settle down, but it's a sport for young and old. Whether you have high skills or low skills, it doesn't matter. And the great thing about karate is that you will learn a lot about moral values and behavior and self-discipline, and these are all built into karate, which is unique for the sporting space.